exclusive prints and a special Mike S. Miller cover. Back now only on Indiegogo. Hey guys, if you are enjoying the content here on the JERKMONGER Show, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and please share. Thanks. Oh, snap. What's up, everybody? What's up, party people? Welcome to the JERKMONGER Show, coming at you live from Tampa, Florida. I am your host, the JERKMONGER, with tons of stuff to show you. I'm so pumped up, y'all. Pumped up. Hey. I'm going to give a shout out to the people in the chat. You guys have been waiting so patiently. We got Aaron Alfetch said, yo, Elliot. Peter Sharon says, drawing time with the JERKMONGER. Come on with it, buddy. Come on with it. Bring in the pain. Bring in the full pain. Brett Seagrave says, what's good, Elliot? How you doing, man? That's cool. Cameron Thomas says, oh. And then Rodwell says, hey. How are you? Comic Book Bob with the Peter Sharon says, it's the final countdown to fresh. Hey, yo. Daniel C says, yo. Then KS says, everyone here has hit that like button already. Well, we've got 11 likes. I got 22 people in the chat or watching right now. If you guys want to hit that like button, I appreciate it. I super appreciate it. For sure. What else we got here? Shinto Ketchup says, hi. Ghetto Medic says, I'm coming off of Edwin's channel. Don't disappoint me, JK. Hey. Ain't no disappointing. Ain't no stopping us now. All right. I appreciate you, Peter, for sharing the link to DOOMKICKER. Same with you, Cameron. I appreciate you guys. All right. DJ Pig says, ooh, fancy countdown timer. Yeah. Comics Legends, has there been any progress on DOOMKICKER pages? I'm working on scripts right now. We're going to talk about that too, Comics Legend. Darcisco says, hi, everyone. Hi, Elliot. Peter Jones says, hey, Darcisco. Jalapeno Milk says, what's up, Elliot? KS says, the JERKMONGER Show with your host, Elliot Fernandez, and he's Elliot. I used to have an applause. I might include the applause again, but, I don't know. It's a little weird. Love that Godzilla music intro where KS, the people in the doghouse are... I don't know what that is. Comment says, Elliot, you look like Critias, brother. Yeah, we could pass for relatives, for sure. Stacker High gives me some applause. All right. So what you guys are here for, and you can see I have it in my hand. I have my new Apple Pencil and my new iPad Pro 12.9 inch. I'm super excited to share with you what it does, how it works, and how it's going to play into my process going forward. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm switching over to the iPad over my Cintiq Mobile Studio Pro. We're just going to get into it. I'm just going to show you some stuff. But as of right now, so let me just do this. So I showed you the pencil. Here's what's cool about the pencil. You guys can barely see it, but it says JERKMONGER on there. You got to love that. This, by the way, was a gift to me for my birthday from a very close friend. I could not afford this, and I want to thank him and his wife, Ramon. Thank you very much. Yvonne, thank you very much for this. This was a blessing and a half. I cannot express my appreciation for you. All right. So what I'm going to show you real quick is the actual iPad, and I'm going to show you what I got first. So what I got here is I got my leather folio for it. Now, I got to be honest with you. This is a very delicate piece of equipment. It's also very expensive. So my whole thing is I wanted to make sure I kept it nice, clean, and happy. It also says pencil case. I understand that, KSS. I understand that. By the way, should I just call you Kiss? Anyway, so I bought the folio. I'm really happy. It's got the camera port in the back right here, as you can see. The camera's great. I got to be honest with you. I'm super impressed with the camera. Well, let me give you a little bit of history. I used to be a Mac head, like hardcore, for a long time. I worked in t-shirts and for a company, and we only got Macs, and I grew up on Mac. You could say that was like my heritage. It's part of my heritage. As time went on, I kind of fell out of favor with Apple. I didn't like the way, or Apple fell out of favor with me. I didn't like the way that they were kind of doing stuff, and their stuff was always super expensive. But I got to be honest, the technology is always been sound, has always been tough, and it's never really given me any more trouble than what it's designed for. So, so other than the price, it can be a challenge. Now, that said, another tool that I use is a Cintiq. As you guys know, I use a Cintiq 13 HD. That's the older version. There's new ones like a 16-inch Pro and all these other things, and they're all very expensive. And maybe I will upgrade eventually for my workstation computer. But when it comes down to it, the biggest and most important part of my process anymore is being able to but to do my work wherever I go. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on a convention and all of a sudden I needed to do a graphic or something for a client, and I needed a tool that would definitely work, and I wasn't always able to get that done, obviously, with an expensive laptop. I can't afford a iBook Pro, whatever you call it, those MacBook Pros. So I elected to invest in my home station, but then I ended up getting through a series of events with a client. I was given payment to use the Mobile Studio Pro. Let me see. You're a tools and equipment junkie. It's an intervention with JERKMONGER time. This is from Mortal Media. I'm just giving you the lay of the land. I'm just kind of explaining what's going on. So when I got this Mobile Studio Pro, it was a game changer, right? That was going to be the bomb. I could run Photoshop, which is a program I've been using for years. I've been a professional illustrator designer for over 20 years, and I use Photoshop almost exclusively, and along with programs like Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and others. But what I discovered was, as time went on, I've always, the one thing about Apple, and this is still true today, even though it's not as true as it used to be, but it's still a very, very solid OS. And so if you're using any kind of tool, Apple iOS, Apple, the software for I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, the OS for the regular Mac computer is not called OS, operating system. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, that stuff is super solid, and it seldom gets affected by things like viruses and things like that. Not that it doesn't anymore, but it seldom does. So, but my PC doesn't have anything. My Mobile Studio, by the way, Mobile Studio Pro is actually a Windows machine, but the brand is Wacom. So the Wacom, great when I'm connected to my Mac. Wacom connected to Windows 10, that was a different experience. Not that Windows 10 is a bad operating system, but when I started using Photoshop, and by the way, it used to be Photoshop was something you downloaded or you purchased and you installed it. Now you are Adobe uses something called CC, or Creative Cloud. So my Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud is always being updated, and I gotta be honest with you, not very happy with the latest Creative Cloud product. It's very fickle on some of these different machines. On my Mac computer, it works great, but sometimes it gives me hard times. I have to restart my computer from time to time. It's very tricky. Everett Todd says Wacom is pretty expensive tech. It is. So that Mobile Studio Pro, when it was bought for me, I think was something in the range of, I want to say it was between $1,300 and $1,500, maybe $2,000. It was an expensive machine. Of course, I took it as payment for services rendered, but at the end of the day, that machine itself has not been super helpful. So I have a dilemma. I need to be able to move. I do conventions still. I still need to kind of do my thing. And so I needed something that was more reliable. Downsides to Apple product. Apple doesn't have currently, but is coming, a full version of Photoshop. But that's coming. Peter says, I still use Photoshop CS6. I hear you, man. I hear you. I should have just kept with that. And you're giving my punchline away, Comics Legend, Clip Studio Paint. So I heard about this legendary product called Procreate over on Apple. And so I went ahead today and I purchased Procreate and I tried it out. And I got to tell you, I was not that happy with it. It's an okay program. It's pretty good. And if I didn't have anything else, I'd be like, oh, and I was nervous because that was the big selling point for me. I had played with Procreate at the Apple Store and also played with Procreate at Best Buy, but I hadn't really settled down on is it really going to do what I needed to do, because I'm about to start working on these pages that I'm going to be doing digitally, and these pages got to be tight, and I want them to look good, and I want the process to be seamless. But the product itself, well, not so hot. Like I was concerned about the way that this particular program worked. So I got it, but it worked okay. So anyway, let me just go and show you. This is the 12.9 Apple iPad Pro. This is what it looks like on my screen. I'm gonna just show you that real quick. This is my lock screen, and this is 3rd generation. And I bought the Apple Pencil 2, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the Apple Pencil 2 that I think is also like impressive. One of the things I was concerned about Apple Pencil 1 was that weird way of charging the Apple Pencil in the back. It looked like you had to take the cap off the eraser, or what would be an eraser, and then you had to plug it in, and it was always sticking out. I just always thought, man, that looks like it's going to break, and I'm sure it has for many people. Well, I'm happy to say that the new Apple Pencil connects to the iPad with a magnet, and it charges that way. The only downside is I have a case. This case is a curve case, C-U-R-V. I don't know if you can see that or not. You can kind of see it there. Yeah, you kind of see it right there. C-U-V-R. C-U-V-R. Curve. Anyway, this is a little more expensive. I think I paid about $60 for this cover. I want to make sure it was good. It's hardbound leather, or leather, whatever, rawhide leather. And what was great about it, though, I thought, was it doesn't have the notches that some of these other covers have, but so you can stand it. But it has a very unique Velcro system. It's some of that modern Velcro that's a little bit like it just sticks to almost anything, and the nap on the felt is not that heavy. If it pays for it all, why not? I'm not sure what that means. All the art programs need a serious refresh. Okay, all right. Corinthian leather, says Gonzo. Right on. What's going on, Gonzo? So what's cool about this was that right along here, there's a little well, and that's where the Apple Pencil 2 will fit when I need to carry it around with me. So I'm super excited about this. The actual iPad is light. The cover is not. So it puts a little more weight to it. And it's the same thing that happened to me on the Mobile Studio Pro. The Mobile Studio Pro, I don't remember the poundage exactly, but it was like, I remember it being somewhat, I want to say it's about 5 pounds with everything on. It just felt bulky, and it was longer. So because it's a wider screen, this is a little more like a little closer to a square than it is a rectangle, as compared to the Cintiq. It was great, but the problem I had with it was that it was bulky, heavy, and it would cause fatigue in some of the smaller muscles in my arm. So if you're not used to holding an object like that in your hand, or if you obviously need a surface to work on, that could be problematic. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and somebody just brought it up in the chat, was the battery life. The Mobile Studio Pro, I was only able, it boasted 6 hours of battery life, which isn't that much, but I could only practically get 3 to 3.5 hours of battery life on that. So I ended up buying a separate charger for long trips, where I can plug it into the car battery. It's not a cigarette lighter, but you know what I mean. And also charge it like if it's a regular plug system. Problem with that is still that if I was at a convention, and if the convention's 8 to 10 hours long, and I wanted to work on my personal work, all of a sudden, not so hot right here. It's not working out so well. So I didn't care for it, and it was just not that great. This one so far, this particular product, the battery life is amazing so far. I haven't calculated it exactly, but I've been working on it for almost all day right out the box, and much to my amazement, not surprise, but amazement, I'm like, it really is awesome, and it's pretty much a dope machine. Somebody's saying to buy a second pen. That's probably true. I might do that. This one says JERKMONGER. The back of my iPad says the Incredible JERKMONGER. Just saying. But anyway, I'm going to switch the camera around so you can see what else I'm working on here. Let me set it up. So this particular product gives me the option to do a couple of weird ways to prop it up. I'm going to prop it up the way I've been using it. It's not the best, not my favorite way of doing it, but for now, it works out pretty good. So I'm going to switch my camera over here to paper. All right. So the next part of my conversation to share with you in my adventure today on how I'm using this particular tool was which application should I use. So I started out with Procreate. Procreate was working pretty good. As you can see, this is kind of the style I wanted to do DOOMKICKER in, and something like this. The problem with this is that the way I would draw in this particular program, these are some of the brushes on the side. I could go into the brushes and pick something else for inking. It works really well, but I just felt like I wasn't able to control the tools as much as I'd like, which was very frustrating for me because I'm very intuitive. I have a very intuitive process when I'm working, so I want this to be as good as possible. Rainbow says, I've left a few iPads laying around for days and the battery keeps going. I'll give Apple credit where credit is due for their tablets. Right on. So this particular tool, I mean, like I said, I was drawing with it. I just didn't feel good about the way it would ink. It seemed to ink okay, but I don't know, it just felt weird and I couldn't get comfortable with it. Isn't that something strange? It's not the hardware that's the problem. It's the app itself. I just didn't feel like I was getting a good good handle on the artwork. Now I will say this though, it does work really well. You can do the expanding. This is also a fantastic thing. Also, some of the tools themselves are a little limited here. Justin Ward says, how does JERKMONGER such as yourself afford these goodies? Granted, it's a tax write-off, but still, I didn't buy it. It was a gift to me. So I'm very excited about that. This is a hefty gift. It was a birthday gift from a good friend of mine, very close friend. Consider him a brother. And, he's doing well. He wanted to give me a blessing. I can't look a gift horse in the mouth. And he says, as a JERKMONGER, I apologize if you've already covered this, but are there any updates on DOOMKICKER? Well, that's kind of what this is all about. So just hang in there. Oh, you guys really are like intense about this DOOMKICKER thing. I'm going to start posting. Well, I'll get to that, but we'll go forward. So I like this program. I like it a lot. I might try it. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it more as a painting program than it is as a comic program. So I decided instead, and this, by the way, this particular program costs $10. So if you wanted to use Procreate, it cost me $10. It's not too steep, but and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad purchase. But if I had known what I was gonna do next, I would have held off on that purchase, and I'll show you why. When I went ahead back into the App Store and I picked up Clip Studio. Now I was a little nervous about Clip Studio because you have to pay. Unfortunately, I already own Clip Studio outright on my Mac and on my PC, but I don't. For Apple iPad, you need to pay for a subscription. And at first, I was a little miffed about that. I kept thinking, is it going to be worth it? Should I even bother? I got to be honest with you guys. This app is awesome on the iPad. It is fantastic. I did some drawing here. This is like a pseudo Superman thing. And again, I'm using, so if you need an update about DOOMKICKER, not everything's about, I'm not drawing everything on pencil. I have to move as fast as possible. I need to make sure that my hardware is right on point. So some of what I'm doing right now is I'm going through the script for DOOMKICKER, tweaking some of the spots where I need it to be addressed. It's an older version of the story, so I have to update it in some places. And then I also need to go ahead and do my thumbnails. I'm going to be breaking up into quarters. There's a whole story about that. But basically, and I'm going to be posting before the end of, well, it's already 11 o'clock, but hopefully later on, a little bit shortly, I'll be posting an update on INDIEGOGO. By the way, another update. I'm not used to giving updates. I assume that I talk so much about it on these channels, I don't think about everyone's asking for updates for DOOMKICKER. So I will be updating through INDIEGOGO an update for the project. But basically is what I'm talking about right now. I feel like I have the equipment now that I'm looking for, that I'm going to need to move forward with this. Art with a Mars says, hey, I'll be 50 next month. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so back to this particular app, man. This thing, if you are familiar at all with Clip Studio Paint, this thing is a beast. Now, it's not as robust as Photoshop for me. I would prefer Photoshop. I have a lot of brushes I've purchased over the years in Photoshop. I actually like Photoshop a lot, and I actually like it more than Clip Studio. However, if I didn't have Photoshop, and I don't, not currently, this app is amazing. I mean, I was getting down with this thing. I could not believe how smooth, how intuitive it was. It's as good as the one I have on my desktop, and for some reason I like it more all of a sudden. Probably because I was able to draw, and some of it's the pencil itself. So some of the pencils in other programs aren't perfect, not the way I like them. Not perfect, but they don't fit exactly what I'm expecting. Definitely this right here. So let's go ahead, and I'll tell you about the pencil too. It has this really neat feature. As long as I have, let's say, the pen tool open, if I tap the pen, it'll switch to eraser. I do a double tap on the pen. I think it did it with one tap, but I can't make it work every time. But if I double tap it again, it goes back to the pen tool. So that's interesting that it toggles back and forth. Although it is just one feature, it's not a big, there's not a whole lot more I can do with it beyond that, which that's kind of sad. Go Party Time says, I will say one thing about Procreate is the ability to export your work as an Adobe file. Well, that's probably true, but I can also do that with this program. Like I said, it's almost identical. The only downside is I'm also a slave to key commands, quick keys. Quick key is when you can hit a certain letter on your keyboard and you can bring up a tool. But what I like about this is that every tool is here already represented in a nice flow. You can kind of see up here. You can see there's the undos, there's this. The transform tool is a little wonky. I don't care for that so much, but this is part of the process. Matt Lucy says, how much Doom would a Doom Kicker kick if a Doom Kicker could kick Doom? Lots of it. Body Thing says, Jerkmonger, there is a shortcut bar in the iPad version. A shortcut bar, probably, but I'm so far I don't need it because this is not so long that I have to stretch my arm. And that's something that people don't think about sometimes. Sometimes if your Cintiq is big, it's like a workout. I got to stretch over here to click on this. I'm doing a lot of this. It's a weird activity, and if you're not used to that sort of movement, this happened to me recently at a convention. I was working on an easel, and I had it up higher than what it belonged. And actually it affected everything. I ended up I tweaked a little muscle and it turned into this like weird knot thing, and I'm still working it out. That's 2 weeks ago. So you make sure that your stuff is squared away. So because it's a little bit taller than it is wide, it's still a rectangular size, but because it's a little bit taller than it is wide, I'm only moving just a hand motion across the screen to get it squared away. By the way, I also bought this. Product. If you guys are interested, it was recommended to me to use something like this. This is called HD Clear. The product is Tech Armor. I'm trying to show you the thing. Tech Armor. This is a screen protector that I did purchase separately. It's only $10 on Amazon, and it gives it a toothy surface, so it feels like I'm really drawing on paper. Again, lots of great innovations and all this stuff. Very excited. Also, for the way that I tend to ink, I was really surprised how well the pencil operated. Now, if I understand it correctly, it does use Wacom technology in the actual pencil, so I'm very excited about that. And I was able to get a lot of the same type of lines that I'm used to getting when I'm working. John Malin says, my pen says Jerk Slayer. Bring it, Malin, bring it. No, man. Hey, I saw your post. It was funny, the meme. But anyway, so let me just show you this. So like going back to the pencil again, the pencil in Procreate was also good, but so this is, I'm using here Clip Studio Paint Pro versus EX. So those are two different. EX is a lot more expensive per month. Well, it's not that much more expensive. It's like $8 a month. Pro is about $5 a month. I did a little bit of research. It turns out that the actual what do you call this, the differences between those two aspects is that the EX has more features for animation. I gotta be honest with you guys. I only have time to work on comics. I don't have time to study animation and do that stuff in there. I'm sure that'd be great. I'm sure I could do a whole lot. But as far as I'm concerned, the Pro has the features that I need, plus some, and it gives me a chance to pay a little bit less money per month. You can also pay $25 per year, which the other one's about $71 or $72 per year. Again, that's up to you. As some people say, your mileage may vary. Thank you, Comics Bear. Alejandro Medina says, "Yo, homie, what's up? And mijos, te pelaste el coco." Yeah, I shaved my head. EX has page management too, but you don't really need that either. Yeah, it's, again, those are probably things I'd love to have if I knew how to use them. All I need to know, all I know how to use right now are the pencils. I'm looking forward to it because I did purchase the Frendon pencils or brush set from Gumroad. If you go to Gumroad and look up Frendon, Frenden, he's got a bunch of stuff there that is pretty dope, and I'm using that right now. So here I'm going to show you just the drawing part of this. Let me go ahead and start another layer. Again, things are a little bit different from Photoshop. If you're not used to this sort of thing, it might bother you, but it's one of those things that you just gotta have to adapt or die type of situation, right? So I've got black is my color here, down here selected. I'm just gonna draw, and as you can kind of see, you probably can't see it very well, but I'll try to press a little harder. And again, the pencil's super pressure sensitive. I'm a little frustrated that I like to use adapters on my pencil because I have arthritis, so might be a problem for me, where the stylus for your Cintiq is it's more ergonomic and is much more comfortable. However, this is super well balanced. I'm really impressed with that, and I'm able to kind of go through and draw whatever I need to draw as though I were drawing in another tool. Let's go look at some of the other pencils. Like I have a design pencil here. You know, this is a little slightly different from the last one. The one is a little rougher than the other. I was using the let's see here. I was using real pencil. Let's try real pencil. I think that was real pencil. Yeah, it's a little more crusty, a little more rough. But is it perfectly balanced? I mean, I think it is. I don't know I'm not sure what perfection is for a balanced pencil, but it feels fantastic. So I just wish that I had something, and they make them. I just don't want to keep taking things on and off when I need to charge it, because the downside to this pencil, is that you have to attach it to the side of the iPad to charge. I believe there's a charging station for it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I did something wrong here. Hold on. Oh, I tapped it. Oh, I pressed white. That's why. Oopsies. Anyway, I think there's an adapter you can get to charge it independently. I think they've made that. I thought when I was searching I saw it, but so it does have a little spot where I can tap the pencil with my finger, and it'll toggle between the eraser, and that's a big deal, because what I do like to use my Cintiq pencil or stylus is the back of the stylus erases. Here I don't have to click on anything to erase. I can just tap and it gives me what I need. I love that. So let's just say I'm drawing this here, and again, this particular application, Clip Studio, is very, very similar to Photoshop. It has a lot of the same features. They're just laid out differently. So if you don't like that sort of thing, if you prefer Photoshop, if you're a diehard Photoshop user, you might have a hard time transitioning. But I think if you give it some time, you'll notice that there's a lot of the same type of stuff. Frankly, I feel very comfortable in this environment, more than I used to. I didn't always feel that comfortable in the earlier versions, but this one is really nice. So anyway, I'm just going to draw something real quick here, just kind of doodle something that I maybe could, who knows, and let's give this guy some hair. Give him my grandfather's hair. That weird little triangle shape he used to have. Was side of his hair was flaring. Let's give him a goatee. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's give him a goatee. Let's give him some deeper, thicker eyebrows. Right, and then we're gonna go from here. I'm gonna give him a little bit of the side edge of the hair, and then he kind of what's going on. Amar says, I use a Strymore digital pencil on my Galaxy Tab. It feels even better than the iPad pencil. It makes you feel like you are using a real pencil. Okay. See, I don't have that though, Amar. So what are you talking about? Yeah. Anyway. So everyone's correcting me on what I know or don't know on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving. Anyway, so overall, like I'm really happy with that look, and I can also adjust the size of that on the pencil. Actually, it's over here, and I can pick a different size for the pencil. Blah blah blah. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity of this particular layer. Again, it's up at the top somewhere, and I can lower the opacity so I can ink over this. And John Malin probably would be like, "What are you inking so close?" That's fine. That's a fair assessment. I hate inking close now because of you, John. Thank you for setting me free. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and hit back on these pens. So I get a G pen, mapping pen, calligraphy, texture pen, real G pen, turnip pen, and for effect line. I don't know what all that stuff is. I just need the basic pens. I'm going to go with a real G pen. I'm going to go with G pen. And I'm going to enlarge this so you can see how it's working. Again, this is just like the way it works on my Mac. This is just like it. Or even the way it works on my mobile studio. Now again, you might say, well then why didn't you just stick with the mobile studio? Again, the battery life on that thing was bad. And I always had to have it plugged in. And I couldn't go very far because if I went any further than where I was, it was likely to lose its charge. If I was at a bookstore or a coffee shop and I wanted to get out of the house or whatever, I could easily I couldn't really do a lot because it just was not that functional. So as you can see, this particular app is fantastic and it works really good. Now I can't speak for all the other apps on Apple because I haven't been using Apple. I don't have an iPhone, never had one. I don't like them very much. I do use a Samsung, but all my friends that I know very well, that know how I work, have recommended this to me, and I'm glad that I have it. Again, it was a gift. I couldn't afford this this way, not now, but it was a birthday gift, and I'm very grateful for it. So this is going to be the tool that I will be using on all my stuff going forward for DOOMKICKER. I'm moving over to this app on this machine. Now, I don't know what happens if the new Photoshop comes out. I don't know if that's going to be the next game changer for me. I tend not to get excited about new applications because I've been around the block long and I've been doing this for over 20 years. You learn that you can't expect too much when at a first release or what have you, but overall, super stoked to have what I have. Let's see. Anyway. All right. So if you guys have any questions other than that, I mean, if I can answer them, I'd love to answer. John, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Again, I can toggle between that and my eraser here. That's a really cool feature for the pencil here. Again, it sucks because it's not, there's not more buttons. I mean, but I only use the button once in a while to toggle back and forth between white and black, and I seldom do that because normally I'm hitting quick keys, and that is maybe the downside. What is the square root of E something to pi? John Millen says, great job on the Magic Cop cover. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, man. Thank you. So yeah, this is going to be a great tool, I think. Like I said, I didn't want to be on too long, guys, because I got to get back to I got to keep working on the script tonight. But I just wanted to share with you. I'm really excited for this, obviously. And here's that little well I was telling you about. I can just slide this into here, and I gotta push it in. I don't want to push it in right now. But it's just killer. It's just killer. Boris Karloff as Peter Cushing. How do you change the size of the eraser? Well, you click on the eraser and you click on this is a little spot right here. You can pick the different size here. Unfortunately, that's one of the downsides. You can't do a lot of that. Now you can get a keyboard. I just don't know how the keyboard works in this situation. And I've already purchased the cover. Like I said, I'm not trying to go crazy here. I just want to have something I can use. I'm really happy. This is the Velcro thing here. It closes up just like this. Nice little leather carrier for when I'm moving around. I can attach it there. I can also turn it around upside down and have it more lean back without the extra flap. But this is so I can get as low as I need to get for anything like that. But this is it's a doozy, man. I'm gonna give this product an A. I'm gonna give it A for the iPad, and I'm gonna give the pencil maybe an A-. But it's not a bad thing at all. It's more than I need. I just wish it was a little bit. I wish I could use it a little heftier or have a little more of a ergonomic hold on the actual product. But overall, pretty stoked, man. I can't wait to get into it. I hope this was helpful for you guys. CC says, happy belated birthday. Cool tools. Congrats. Grandpa Sinister looking good. Yeah, it means even a little. Now, one thing I like about Procreate also is that you can do time lapse. I don't think you can do time lapse here. Maybe you can. I gotta figure that out. But for now, this is like one of my uncles, like my cousin and his father. Try the Logitech crayon. I'll write that down. Logitech. Look at that. I love the way that writes. By the way, sometimes on my Cintiq, I would get a lot of lag too. And also, there's no parallax on this thing. I'm writing right where I tap. I'm tapping dots. Anyway, digital art has come a long way from the old Mac Notepad days. Yep. Oh, that's smooth. Mine's for the pencil, but it's got your name on it and everything. It does. Oh, Siri. I don't like Siri very much. I'm glad I don't have oily hands. Well, that's why I wear this. This is helpful for that sort of thing. Hey, Carl says, I so want to see you make an animated series. Oh, well, you never know. You never know. Uh-oh. I said series, and then Siri wanted to do something. Shut up, Siri. That I'm going to disable because I can't stand Siri. Pencil definitely needs more work. Says Go Party Time. The minus is because it has to be charged. Yeah, I guess so. That's another reason to give it an A-. Pencil on charging, and shape. For me, it's the shape. Because if I got a special adapter thing for it, I couldn't connect it. You know what I mean? That's the challenge. So I don't like that. But anyway, I hope this information was useful to you guys. Maybe you guys are in the market and thinking about the stuff. To be honest with you, your tool is your tool. However you want to work, whatever you think is going to work best for your uses, your goals and your ambitions. As far as I'm concerned, this is going to serve me very, very well. It is very light. The battery life is strong. It uses right now one of the programs that I would use very, very well. So I'm super happy with what this provides for me as a tool for the trade, and I'm crossing my fingers, but I'm not expecting too much for that new Photoshop app coming from Adobe for this. But I gotta say, I did my research. I feel like this was the right tool for me, and it's gonna be great. So I look forward to when I start doing the videos. You're gonna see it like this, and that's another thing. I think by having the paper, it's like an anti-glare paper texture on for that cover I purchased. I feel like it's doing a good job of keeping the light off, so I feel like I can show you the stuff, and still bright, but it's still working well. And I'm still at 91% from when I charged it last. Like, wow, man, that's dope. So anyway, We'll see what happens. If you like it, you love it. You don't like it, it's okay. You know, talk to somebody else. Tell them how you don't like it. And you can put it in Twitter. You can go to the Twitter and tell them the Twitter, hey, I don't like it. And you can get into that conversation. But otherwise, right here is very beautiful to me. I like it. I like it mucho. Okay, you guys be good. I talk to you later, okay? Whatever you do, I talk to you later. Bye-bye. Email comment about pricing and availability. Thanks. And don't forget to check out bigbridgedesigns.com for more of your Jerkmonger cool fun stuff, like pins, prints, and stickers of all your favorite black and reds, mini mongers, and much, much more. That's bigbridgedesigns.com. See the link in the description below. Thanks.